Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be giving my review, thoughts and impression of the bloody anime series Shigurui Death Frenzy. So what is this about? So the series starts in the Tokugawa period. I've forgotten the exact year. And the brother of the shogun, who is a very sadistic person, hosts a martial arts tournament for samurais to come and battle. But in the previous years, when they usually use wooden swords, he's intent on this time them using real swords, and that's just a bit of drama. And so, the two main characters here, which are introduced to, who are coming to fight for, they are coming to represent the style, the Kogan Ryu style. And these two main characters, they have certain particularities. Like the main one is Fujiki Genosuke. He has one arm. I know fighting one arm is usually seen as a disadvantage. But his fellow, Irakuse again, has an even bigger disadvantage, is that he's crippled with one leg and then he's also blind. And so those who are testing it out, those who test it out to show like that the real successors of the Kogan Ryu style. And again, the story now shows now this two. It takes us back in time to when these two first meet, when Irakose again entered into the Kogaryon dojo, and it just shows their story together. And we just kind of follow the story to that point in order to get to the point where they showed us in the beginning, while as they're about to fight and how they got their injuries. So, what do I like about the series? Well, I like the story. I won't say a lot, but I like the story. And you say the brutality of the story can sometimes take you out of it. And sometimes that's what some people like. And another thing is, like, I like the way it presents its sword fight. It presents in a very unique manner. So in mostly other series, when two samurais are about to fight, it is a very bombastic kind of stuff. They go hit at each other, sword swings, parries, dodges, now and all that goodness. But here it is very methodical. People sit, they plan, they don't just swing in wisely. They don't swing it wisely. They can take a stance, and then most of it is just like sitting and seeing how your opponent, seeing how they're going to do. So the two people might take a stance, like the four of us start fights, and then they take a stance, and then the man reads his opponent. So he sees that no, this stance is not enough. So he switches his stance, and the other person sees him as well switching. And the way I'm explaining it can be boring, but the way it is really presented, it is really intriguing, and I really see try to see behind what is really going through. And another thing that I like is the pacing. So this is both an advantage and a disadvantage. So it is presented in a very slow kind of mellow this thing, but it suits the source material very well. And I couldn't think the way this is presented, and I feel like the way the manga is also presented, they couldn't adapt it in any other way, and so it really helps you to sip in the story. So let me touch on again about our two main characters, which is Fujiki Genosuke and Erako Seren. So the way the thing is presented, you might think like that Fujiki is the main character, because of his character design, his story, and all those things. But I feel like Irako is, and even the way the story ends in the manga, which spoilers, I'm not going to say that because of spoilers, but I feel like Irako again is a real protagonist of the entire story, because he's the one that drives the plot. You see now, nothing really happens in the lives of the other characters until Irako walks into the dojo, try to challenge the master. And then they have this rule, and in the dojo, since the master is not always readily available because he has dementia and such, so they have this thing where they say someone wants to challenge the dojo must fight two under apprentices before they can fight the master. And those two people now are some of the toughest that you can find there. But he easily dispatches of Fujiki. And now Fujiki at that time was widely seen as a successor to the Kogan Ryu style, where he easily dispatches of Genosuke, and then he fights the other guy, the big guy, I forgot his name, and that guy also now easily dispatches him, and then he tries and does his best to come under their apprenticeship. And that's, I think, what goes on saying, he's the one who drives the plot forward. And even later on in the future, and even through his actions by going and sleeping with the master's mistress, and that they came and warned him that this will not end well, but he kept on doing it. And when the master discovered it now, they beat him up, blinded him, and drove him out of the studio, of the dojo, sorry. And after, when he leaves, and I'm getting into massive spoiler territory as well. Sorry for the late spoiler warning. After he leaves now, 3 years later now, that's when the things now really start to pick up. So now, after he leaves the dojo for 3 years, nothing really major happens. But it's when he starts coming back now to exact his revenge that things start happening again. So I just feel like, and even reading with all of their duels between him and between Irako and Genosuke, Irako just has that edge, that little bit edge above Genosuke. The time when they're about to banish Hirako, him and Genosuke fought again. And then he was about to win. If Genosuke had not developed a technique of his own for his swing, for his slash to be faster than anything can do, he would have lost that battle. And even when he comes back now, he has a different fighting style that it is very deadly. He calls it a certain victory stance because when he does it now, he always defeat his opponent. So that's just what I feel. And then the third major character here, who is the daughter of the Irako man, the Mie Dono, and she has her own thing here, but I'll not really touch about it much because she's kind of bizarre. She's kind of bizarre, and I don't agree with most of her actions. So what I don't like, and that will be the pacing. So when you have a story that is so slowly paced, you have to maybe they couldn't get their episode count. This is 12 episodes. You could have widely benefited from a 13 episodes because even though the series is loved, and that's why I feel like even though the series is loved, you don't hear about it. It's because of the ending. The ending is so abrupt. That's why I feel like when you're making an anime, this is very important to stick the landing. So when people watch it, they feel satisfied of watching it. But the ending is so abrupt that I'm seeing myself. I'm pulling my hair out. I'm like, what? What? Why did you end it here? Why did you end it this way? Even a voice over, even a few seconds on top, say a voice over, because you don't actually get to follow the whole story up to where they find themselves in the martial arts tournament held by the Damios brothers. So it actually gets to that point, but you get somewhere in the middle, you get a place where it's a good field, and you can end it there with just a small voice over, and you can just start saying that, and so begins the legend of the two fighters. Those stuff like that. But it just ends abruptly. It's just because Irako succeeds in drawing away Fujiki and the other guy who is the second in command from the dojo after he has killed the other apprentices. And he also now succeeds with his technique to kill Kogan, Sensei Kogan. And after that, he's met by the Shogun's brother. And the Shogun's brother now gives him lands and title and everything that he wanted. And then the thing just ends. The thing just ends there. So I think that's way too abrupt of an ending. But even though it was like, you could have get a good feel of what was to come in the future, and they would have just given a small voiceover. But overall, my overall impression is that I still really like the series. I checked out the manga. I checked out what happened in the manga after because the way it ended, it just left me too short. And I'm a bit conflicted of how the manga ended. But anyway, if it just comes to this 12 episode series alone, it's very good. I'll say top notch quality anime if you can get past the ending. So that's it, guys. That brings me to the end of this video. What do you guys think? Be sure to like and subscribe. If you disagree with me, share your comments down below, and I'll see you all at a later time.